Let me take that last one. Many institutions distinguish in their science courses, in their math courses, courses for people that they think have advanced capacity in those areas and advanced or who have required very specialized training because of some pre-professional activity, right? So what would happen for engineers might be different than what would happen for someone who wanted to study English literature. What happens if somebody taking a general education math course who's been kind of math averse most of their life, what happens if they get into a wonderful course and decide they'd like to take more? Have you ever had any experience like that? And how do you make sure that they don't suffer because they've been seen as somebody who wasn't able to do math up until that point?
Well, I think that's an interesting kind of issue. And yes, I have had a number of students who have taken, for example, my course in quantitative reasoning, modeling, decision making, and decided to move on into calculus course and become math or science majors, for example. I do think that things are not fluid enough in that regard. That is, that we try to sort of track students. You know, that you're going into a physics major or you're going into biochemistry or whatever very early on. And I don't think we allow enough opportunity to do very innovative courses early on that just allow students to learn a bit about whatever subject and decide maybe instead of this major, I may be interested in doing a very different major.
That was a real example I gave? In other words, you've had,
absolutely.
Examples of that?
Absolutely. I've had students, for example, one example, my primary example that I think about is a student who came into my course and who came up to me after the first class, and he said to me, I just want you to be aware that I've always had problems with math. I don't do very well in math, etc., and I don't expect to do very well in this course. This is basically what the student said to me. And I was a bit taken by that the student would be so blunt, I guess, as to say that after one class session, that to take what I consider to be a very defeatist attitude. And anyway, I said to the student, well, I'm going to expect a lot of students in this course, but I'm going to give a lot also. And this is going to be a partnership. That it's going to be a community. I'm going to try to make the class a community. Your classmates, there are other students in this course that do not have a lot of math preparation. We're going to make this a team effort. The idea is that by the end of the course, you're going to learn something that is very significant that I hope will impact the way you think about the world the rest of your life. And he looked at me as if I was on another planet. But he stuck with it. And he went, and I could see the progress. It's very interesting. When you're getting a lot of feedback from students in the form of their writing, when students are working in groups, you get a lot of information about people. And after about 3 weeks into the course, my assessment is that this person is capable mathematically of doing much more than what he's ever realized that he was capable of doing. And so, he started contributing. Initially, he would just stand on the outside of the group, sort of. And then I noticed he started to engage in the discussions about problems in the group, and etc. And I was very much amazed at the progress that he made during the semester. He certainly turned out to be among the top students in the course. I wouldn't say necessarily at the very top, but he was certainly among the top. And the next semester, I was co-teaching a course that was on nanotechnology that required some quantitative background for this course. And anyway, I walked into the first class session for this nanotechnology course, and who is there? The student. To be honest with you, to be quite frank, I thought I walked into the wrong room. My initial reaction, to be quite frank, my initial reaction was, wow, I must have walked into the wrong room because I did not expect, even after the student had done well.
Because he didn't have to take other courses.
Because he didn't have to take this course. I didn't. The last thing I thought was that I think I even said something like, is this nanotechnology what a 213? Is this nano? I think I just, not to him directly, but I think I said to the class, is this nanotechnology 213? And people say yes. And I said, thank you. It's just that I was surprised. And he said, hi, Professor. And that I consider to be one of the more significant accomplishments. Because whatever this person goes on to do, he now has made a major accomplishment for his life. He realizes that a whole new world is at least accessible to him.